Alrighty, in this video, which is going to start a series of videos about how we want to properly have our local footprints. What do I mean by that? Whenever we log in and we're working on, let's say your first lead gen site is in Houston, Texas, you're going to want to create a separate profile in Firefox that's just for Houston. And you're gonna, when you log into that, you're only gonna log in with proxies or IP addresses, is what they're also called, from Houston. And you'll only use that particular Firefox profile for that Houston site and nothing else. Really important these days. Google's very smart, and they're tracking where you're logging and all your information. So let's get started with this, and we'll show you how to do this completely anonymously, and it'll make it look like you're right in Houston all the time creating this stuff. So it's critical that we have local IP addresses and that we're able to hide your true location. Okay, really, really critical on that. I can't stress it enough. We're going to use dedicated IP addresses or proxies and a dedicated Firefox profile for each city. Don't get overwhelmed by this. You got to start with one city. Once you do it, it's super easy to do. Okay. You must use these advanced strategies whenever you or a VA works on your lead gen site on any aspect of it whatsoever. That's creating citations, it's creating a Facebook profile. Everything has to come from this Firefox that's dedicated only to Houston and nowhere else. And the proxy is also from there and nowhere else. So we're going to have to create, see, these days, what people don't realize that don't do this or pretend that they do, but they really don't, is that the landscape of ranking for local sites is completely different than what it was 6 months and 180 degrees different than what it was a year ago. And right now, the way the algorithms are is that they want to see that you're a real local address. Okay, and one of the ways that they find out is they want to know where your IP address is. And they're going to look at your Firefox profile. And they're going to see all the places that you logged in and all your history. Even if you think you're anonymous, you're not. Okay, but this is the best thing that we're going to get to it. So we'll totally, this works 100%. Now we're going to be creating also, and we'll get into this in the whole backlinking section of the course, is it doesn't take that many backlinks. A couple good quality backlinks. What Google's really looking for these days is not a whole bunch of backlinks. What they're looking for is relevant backlinks from the local area. Okay, that's what they're looking at. And they're looking for people that are looking from your site from local IP addresses. So how do you do all this? We'll cover that later. But it starts here. You got to have a Google account that you created with a local IP address. Okay, not one you bought from Fiverr. You're going to create a Google Plus account from a local IP address, okay, and Facebook and citations. Whenever you edit your website, you're going to do it from here, okay? That's the plan. That's what we're going to do with this, okay? So let's go ahead and get started here. So we're going to learn how to create a separate Firefox profiles first, okay? We're going to do that. We're going to install Firefox proxy. Foxy proxy is what they call it. It's a free plugin, and we're going to use that. And we're going to set up Firefox setting so that we hide our footprints. Show you step by step on how to do that. Show you where we buy local IP addresses. Okay, so no matter where you are in the world right now, it doesn't matter. You could be in Malaysia right now, and if you've determined after you've finished Module 1 that your best niche, your best city to start is going to be in, Boise, Idaho, in the U.S. No problem. I'll show you exactly where to get IP addresses from there. So we got you covered with all that stuff. Okay, and then we're going to learn, once you get the system all set up and your proxies in and your Firefox set up with a different profile, I'm going to show you exactly how to test it. It's going to kind of blow you away how much information is available publicly to your exact system. Your searches, every single plugin on your computer, everything is available publicly. I'm going to show you that on this site. And then once all the above is completed and we've tested it out, we will always use that Firefox. So you're gonna create a spreadsheet, and you're gonna have a Firefox name and a Firefox IP address for every city that you're going to be in, and you're going to always use those just to log in. I've probably beaten that point up, but you got to be real careful with that stuff, okay? Even when we're creating backlinks. And the cool thing is, I'm going to show you some just awesome ways to create local backlinks from local themed areas. It's super easy to do. But you gotta follow these methods from the beginning. And I guarantee you no one out there is doing this stuff. And this is why, you know, we've got thousands of sites that are ranking out there, and soon you're going to as well. Okay, so let's get started here. We're going to create separate Firefox profiles, and so we're just going to do two things in this video, and I'm going to show you how to do this, and I'm going to ask a friend has created a video for me on how to do this in PC. Super simple, so I'm going to insert that in here, and then after that, the last thing we'll do in this first series is how to do it in a Mac. I'm assuming most of you on this call, or most not on the call, but most of you watching this have probably got PCs. So when you're done with the PC section, then you're done. The last segment will be how to install it on a Mac and how to do it there. And then we'll end this first series and we'll start where we left off.
Okay guys, so as you can see here, I've got 4 different browsers on my computer. This one's my default browser. These 2 are for my business. And this is the one my brother uses, so every time he uses my computer, he can have access to his own bookmarks and to his own history. So to do this, just click on your Firefox icon, right click, Properties, and in the target field, just click at the end, put a space, -P. Then press Apply and OK. So once you've done this, you can double click on your browser, and this will pop up. And these are your Firefox profiles. So as you can see here, this is my default browser. These 2 are my business, and this is my brother's. So we're going to make a new profile. So create new profile. Next. And this is the profile name we're going to have. So I'm going to name mine Tutorials. And finish. As you can see, it's been added to the list. Just so you can see what it looks like, you can press Start Firefox and it should pop up as a brand new browser. And there you go, as you can see, it looks like Firefox has been freshly installed. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make a shortcut icon for that specific Firefox browser. So to do this, right click on your Firefox, create shortcut. Okay, and there we go. I'm going to rename this to Tutorials. Okay, now you're going to right click, go to Properties, and here I'm going to put space, and this is where you put your profile name. So my profile name was Tutorials, so I'm going to write Tutorials. Okay, then you put a space, -no, -remote. I'm going to add this to the description below as well, just so you can copy and paste it, and it will be easier to understand if you can read it in the description as well. So once that's done, you press Apply, and OK. So double click this, and there you go, that's my new browser. So now we have one more thing to do. So double click on this browser, on your default one, select Default, and press Start Firefox. Once it starts, just close it straight away. Then right click on your default browser, go to Properties, and remove this P. And that's it, everything should be working fine.
For you Mac users out there, what you're going to do is you're going to open up your Applications window, and you're going to search for Terminal, and you'll see this pop up. So go ahead and just click on that. You may have a whole bunch of stuff here. There may be a whole bunch of lines and codes or whatever. Just wherever you see like your name and this little bar right here, that's where you're going to put this code. So we're going to have this code here. I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste it in. Put it right there. Just put your cursor right on that, paste, and then just press enter. And it's going to pop open here, and it's going to say, now yours more than likely, if you haven't created in the profile, will just have a default. And all that you need to do, I'm going to actually delete this one, that was a test one. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a profile. So go ahead and create one, and I'm going to continue, and then I'm going to name it. So I'm going to name it, Chris1. You may want to name it, that's probably a better idea, is to name it the city. So there's Houston, okay? Just leave everything else the way it is. Don't choose a folder or default, just leave it the way it is. Press done, and there you go, you're set, okay? Now if I start Firefox right now, the way you'd want to do it is that if you have Firefox open, which I do down here, is you'd want to close out all your Firefox windows. So ideally what I want to do is I come up here and I'm just going to force quit. So I've got too many of these open, right? So I'm going to force quit. Okay, so now I have no more Firefoxes open here, okay? So now I can go ahead, close that. No problem. All I got to do is just simply copy and paste this command here, press enter, and there it is. So this is the one that we just created, was 4, and I'm going to go ahead and start this. It's going to start a brand new file that's never been used before. It has absolutely no history on it whatsoever. Okay, so we'll continue where we left off on the next video, but before we do that, I need you to come back here, and when you start this up, once you go back to your default and make sure that you use the selected profile without asking it at startup. So you want to use the default. That's your normal one that you've always been using, okay? Don't accidentally leave it here and then log into it tomorrow, whatever IP address you're in that's not your local IP address, and start starting your day. It'll totally ruin that profile. So you want to make sure every time you log in here, you got to log in with the Houston IP address. Okay, very, very important. And so we want to start with our default. Okay, we'll go ahead and exit out. I'll exit out of that. Now, I'll see you, or actually talk to you on the next video. Alrighty, so we're going to start right where we left off. These are things that we're going to do on here. We're going to install these 2 plugins into our new browser, our new Firefox. So at this point you have, I highly suggest that you just follow along with me. Don't watch the videos and then go all the way back. That's twice as much work. So if you haven't finished the first part of the module, stop and do that, and then restart here. And so we're going to install these 2 plugins here. We're going to do 2 important settings to our new Firefox profile to disable Java, Flash, and some other important security information. Then we're going to go out to anonymous-proxies.net, and currently at the time of this recording, these are the best places to get the most secure, non-spammy proxies that you can. They're about average price, but don't go out and get other ones, but I'll show you if you insist on getting other ones, and we don't have any affiliate links or anything for these, that's just what's working. We'll show you how you can test them to see if Google knows if it's a proxy or not. Okay, so it's really important. A lot of people don't know that. They just think I get a proxy, I'm anonymous. No, most places out there are smart enough and they know that, hey, this server where your proxy is coming from is a known proxy, okay? And there's services out there that actually tell other providers out there which ones are the known proxies. It's kind of a little bit of a war out there. So, and then finally, when we get these first 4 things completed, last thing we're doing is we're going to test our system, see how secure it is, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so you want to be logged in right now to a fresh, brand new Firefox profile. Okay, so what's going to happen here is that I'm going to just have you type in Firefoxy, and we're going to go ahead and install this. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to search for WBRTC Firefox, and we're going to install this, which is really a disable WRTC. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll come right back. Went ahead and just added the Firefoxy in here, and this is what it looks like. You'll have it right up here. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install the disable WRTC. Installed that. When this is, you'll see it right here. When it's green, it's on. When it's red, it's off. So you always want to keep it on green. And I'll go ahead and cancel these out. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to set up our profiles. So these are the images here. What we're going to do is we're going to set it up so that our plugins are always on Ask to Activate. You come right over here, Firefox, you're going to download this, or just not download it, but click on it, go to Add-ons. Everything should always be Asked to Activate. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is come to the same area, drop this down, and we're going to go to Preferences. And then Preferences, we're going to go to Privacy. This is what it should look like. This is not what it's going to look like when you first open it up. Okay, so we're going to want to uncheck the tracking, because I want to track everything that you do. And then you want to use custom settings for history. You'll uncheck these. You'll leave this. Accept cookies from sites, always, but that just means when you're on. Keep until you close Firefox and it gets rid of the cookies, and then clear your history when Firefox closes automatically. Now keep in mind, this is only for your local separate one. So if in this example, if your first city is going to be in Houston, you're going to be opening up a lead gen site there. This is going to be the only browser that you use with an IP address that's for Houston only. Okay, so our next step we're going to do is we're going to open up, we're going to go to anonymous proxies. We're going to get some proxies, and then we only need to get one proxy, and we're going to set up a new proxy. And this is what the screen looks like. Don't get scared by it. What we're going to do next here is I'm going to manually add the host in here, the port number, the username and password. And this is my username and password to the proxy service that we recommend. I went ahead and entered this in, entered in all the information. And what I've done here is gives me a drop down. So I'm going to use this proxy. So this is the proxy here that I entered in for all URLs. That's exactly what I want. Close this, and you'll notice right here, okay, that when that guy is blue, that means it's on here. And this is actually a San Diego IP address. So the next step we want to do is we're going to test it. Okay, and when we test it, we're going to go to this site, the whoers.net, WHOER.net. We want to use the expanded version. This is the shorter version on here. And so they've changed this up. Just there we go, extended version right here. So I want to click on that. It gives us more detail. Now we want to check. Now this IP address is from San Diego. And we want to go through this and make sure that it's all set up. So is this a proxy? No. Is this on Tor? No. You want all no's here. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here. I got JavaScript is enabled, Flash is enabled, and Java. So I need to disable these two here. We'll come back. Okay, so I want to show you a couple of things on how you test this. I'm going to go ahead, and the things that we need to have off, you don't want the JavaScript, but all these have to be off. These are off because we installed this plugin over here. And then we need to disable Flash and Java. Now, how we disable that on here, the only way I could disable it was I come back over here. This has since gotten a little bit harder. I come here, and then I'm going to go to add-ons. And what I had to do here was that on the Flash on here, I had to, here it is, the Java Apple plugin, I had to disable it. So never activate. I just select that, and I refresh this. These two will be off. Okay, and that's good. My score is up to 70%. There's just two other things that I need to do to keep this clean, and that is do not track. So you have a browser tracking disabled on that. Please learn how to enable it. So I'm going to do that. And then that's a very low priority in the system time difference. So system is easy. I'm just going to come up here and change the date and time to San Diego. Change the time at 95%. Now just the last thing on here is we're going to, in this end of it, you have a browser tracking block disabled. Please learn how to enable it here. So we're going to go ahead and enable it. Okay, a couple of updates here. Things change in here. So you want to make sure that your score here is 100% anonymous. Very important. Anytime you're not, you just click on here and it's going to tell you what you need to fix. Okay, so let me go over some of these things on here. You want to look at the extended version. Always make sure you're looking at that. It gives you more details. If at any time when you run a test, and I'm going to run a test right now, that it reveals somewhere down below here your true address, your true IP address, then you know you've done something wrong. Now, when this is 100%, that's not going to happen. So let's take a look at the settings on here. So the two places that you're going to go to is the add-ons and the preferences. So let's look at the add-ons. What we needed to do with the add-ons is that for the Adobe and the Flash and the Java, we had to actually disable it instead of never ask. When I had it on never ask, it still picked it up. So I had to actually disable that. That's important. And then the Shockwave Flash, never activate. I had to deactivate that. When they were on, or not when they were on, but then when they were asked, it didn't ask. Okay, it just showed, and they can reveal what your real IP address is through Flash and through JavaScript. So you have to disable those. Okay. So the other thing that we needed to do was come over here to preferences, and in preferences we had to go to privacy and request that the sites not track you. We have to click that right there. I had that checked off. Okay, so when I have that checked off, look what happens when I come back here and I refresh this. It'll change my score to about a 90 or 95. Okay, see, this changed to 95. And then when I click on here, it'll tell me why. So right here, do not track. So I went and clicked, learned about it. So things may change by the time you look at this. So this is why I'm going over this with you. And then so that means that we need to go back to our preferences, request that the site not track you. Okay. And now when we come back in here and we refresh this, it will be ready and set to go. Now we're at 100% anonymous. Okay. So this is good. It's a setup the way we need to do it on here. So play around with this, get to know this. It's really critical once you've got it down with one city and one IP address. Be very easy. Just make sure that everything is set up here, that you only, so now this browser here, if this is for a site that I was working on in San Diego, before I would ever go to that San Diego site, I would always first log in to only this Firefox profile, and I would name this Firefox profile, San Diego, and then at that point I would only use it for any and all activity with San Diego. And what you're going to find out later on is that we'll be doing, you and or your assistants will be doing quite a bit of activity in San Diego, because the new protocol, the new thing that Google's looking at is they want to see you getting backlinks, not just backlinks that are theme related, but backlinks that are theme related in your local area. Okay, I bet you never heard that before, and that might scare you, but guess what? It's a lot easier when you know what to do. In addition to that, We're also going to need to get real people to actually search our site from local IP addresses. That's another huge factor in the ranking. And then we need one or two pretty good links. And that's it. That's all. It's actually easier to rank these days. It's just a completely different ballgame than it used to be. So if this is your first time doing this stuff, please don't get overwhelmed. Once you've done it a couple times, super easy, really effective, and just stay focused on the target here. Stay here for the long haul with us, because once you get these sites ranking and you're up and you got clients, and then you stay in that same niche and you move on and you just rinse and repeat, it's going to change your life. So talk to you in the next video. Already in this video here, I just wanted to go over when you would use your local IP address / your proxy as outlined in the 2 previous videos, and along with your Firefox profile that will be obviously dedicated to that proxy, that IP. So when you set up your Gmail account, and you'll set up a Gmail account exclusively for your niche. So for example, if your brand name, which should pretty much match your domain name, was like On-Call 24-Hour Doctor, then On-Call 24-Hour Doctor would be your brand name. That's your domain. Then you want to try, you can't always do it because sometimes it won't be available, but try the best you can to get a Gmail account that's as close to your branding as possible, okay? Alrighty, so it's important to note about the Gmails on here. What you're going to do is you're going to use a call-zoo number when you set it up, and you'll set up your call-zoo number so that it can accept an SMS text message. Therefore, you can verify your Gmail account. Now, what you'll find many times is that you can set up a Gmail account and it doesn't ask for verification, but it'll give you the option of entering a phone number that you can verify with. So if you've already set up a Gmail account and you haven't done the phone verification, it's important you do the phone verification with the number with a local number. It doesn't necessarily have to be your final local number, but just a local number with a local IP address. Okay, it's really important. So let's continue here. You're going to use this same number, so it's a call-zoo number, with your Firefox profile and your IP address to set up all of your local citations. If you're new to this and you don't know what a local citation is, we'll get into that later. I just want to let you know, kind of give you a preview of when you're always going to be using these, okay? There's some citations, not very many, but a few that require an SMS phone verification. Hence, our call-zoo numbers that you'll use are able to accept the SMS text message, and you can verify them. And you want to be logged into these citations, setting them up from a local IP address, okay, not somewhere else, and you want to get them phone verified with a local number when required. Okay, so these are all the places you're going to use it. We want these accounts, they need to be local, they need to have this fortress around them of being local. It's your citations. We're going to get local backlinks. We're going to have a business Facebook account, a Twitter account, a Google Plus profile, basically anytime you log into the site. Now, this you may look at it as going, oh, gee, it sounds like a tremendous amount of work. It's not, because you only need to set this up once. You don't need to do this 25 times for 25 cities. One niche, one domain. Let's say you start in Houston. You're going to build that up. You'll log in. You'll always use the same profile. Then as you expand out into other areas and cities, you'll just use the same profile. Everything's consistent there. It's local. It's obviously that you're growing out from there. So you just got to do it one time, okay? So that's it. It's Chris Winters. I will talk to you on the next video.